Arts for Learning is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, been around over 40 years, and the mission is to bring the various avenues of the arts to schools and school children. But beyond the arts aspect, it's a way of allowing children to grow and understand things beyond the memorize and obey kind of model of school. It gives them a chance to explore, to develop their communication skills, strategic thinking in a different way. There's a lot of net benefits to introducing the arts and the freedom to explore.
Right, and get out and do something that you can be a little bit more creative, or
that's right.
Meet different people with sort of the same thing. It's funny when you're saying about get out and explore. I've done a lot of jobs for high schools that have ag departments, and you talk to these kids about why they did ag. Some of them were like, oh, because I want to, be a veterinarian, or I want to work on a farm. But that was not the majority. The majority was like, well, I just like getting out. I don't want to be in the classroom. This is something different, doing different things. I'm working with my hands. I like working with my hands, so it was that. It was just because it was a different thing, and you think differently and you do different things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's kind of similar to like the arts, what you guys are doing.
That's right. You don't have to be a talented artist to enjoy the time and exposure to thinking creatively or thinking differently or problem solving communally. There's all kinds of net benefits.
Yeah. So do you have because I saw there's a bunch of volunteers, or I don't know if they're volunteers or paid or whatever, but they go into the schools, and then some are like singers, and then there's artists, and there's different musicians, and then these workshops that are held. Is it a regular thing? How does that all work?
Right. So there's a roster of over 100 various artists in all disciplines of the arts. So it could be dancing, could be singing, could be poetry, all different forms. And we work with schools or school systems to work cohesively with their curriculum so that we drop in things that are appropriate, that align with what they're, trying to have students learn, and then drop in a program that complements those things in a more creative manner. So we are hired by the schools to bring in artists on the roster.
Did you just public schools, private, all schools?
I think it's mostly public, but I think both across the board.
Okay. And what seems to be the area where you get the most business, I guess? Or does
I would say the concentrations on the highways. So if you take the major cities, I-91 north and south, take I-95 east and west, it seems to be more populated in those cities along the main routes rather than the rural area. We'd love to do more rural areas, but everyone's impacted by budget. And budget's been affected enormously in the last 12 months or so.
You feel more urban areas then, as opposed to
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're open to everywhere. It's a matter of those schools. Usually the urban centers have a larger population. They have their own standing school, whereas in a suburban area, you might have a school that serves 5-6 towns. It becomes a different equation.
Why did the organization come to be? Now, I know, I don't remember when I was going to school if there was anything like that, but we had really good arts programs, orchestra and fine arts, painting and such, and mock clay and all that kind of stuff. But we also had home ec, and we had mechanics if you wanted to take it, and wood shop. I think wood shop was required. I don't think mechanics. I think wood shop was. Anyway, but over the years, I think a lot of those things have gone away. I know the home ec and the wood have you felt that the reason they're here is because maybe a lot of arts programs have been pushed aside?
I think that's starting to be part of the equation. Back in time, I also took wood shop. It was built in, and I built the craziest looking birdhouse.
Of course.
How did that go together?
I built a lamp. And actually about the lamp, it's funny, and I don't know where my lamp is. I think it got lost somewhere along the travels. But my dad, who went to high school, obviously many years before I did, has like, it's almost an identical lamp,
Really?
which is crazy. Yeah,
So
yeah.
they kept that
It's the
playbook.
square base with the square stem, I guess, and the lamp on the shade. Yeah, it's pretty funny with the pole thing. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so those used to be broader programs in every
Yeah.
school curriculum, and I think those started to shrink, truncate. And of course, music programs keep getting slashed.
Yeah.
What we might have been 40 years ago was a specialty program. I bring in a Balinese dancing group, right? Because we're going to study Southeast Asia, kind of
Yeah.
thing. It would be a specialty event. Now we're supplemental. And in some cases for schools, we become the arts program or the
Oh, wow.
music program
Interesting.
or the, depends on the arrangement that the school needs or
Yeah.
wants,
Yeah, because it was required to play an instrument when I was coming up. I think we started in 4th, 5th grade, something like that. Yeah, I think you had to start, and then I can't remember if you had to take it all the way through high school. I think eventually you could, once you reach
you
certain
could
number of years,
drop
you could
out.
drop out. But I ended up playing. I played upright bass. I played all the way through. I started with violin. It didn't work out well. And I think probably in 6th grade or 7th grade, I only played violin for a year or so. I switched to upright bass, and I played upright bass. Yeah, that was fun.
You still?
No,
You have the bass?
no, because my folks rented the bass.
Rented the bass, yeah. Makes
So
sense.
once I graduated, that was the end of my bass career.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was fun. I had I had private teachers. So I had two different private teachers. One he was a little bit older gentleman, and he was very much, the curriculum of the school and the orchestral music and the other thing, which was great. It was really good. And then I think I can't remember who was first or second, but I had this other guy who was much younger. And we would just rock. We would just do jazz all day. He would teach me all these jazz riffs and everything.
wow.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah,
He had broadened your horizon.
yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. These guys, these jazz musicians. I told you earlier, I had a rock group in here. They had a little acoustic trio. They were playing 2 guitars and a electric bass. And this guy's been playing bass a long time. And just to watch the bass player, it's so much fun. Yeah, I can't. I wish maybe someday, but probably not.
You'll get
Yeah,
back.
yeah, it'd be good.
That sparkle strike.
Yeah, maybe. I do hand drums sometimes.
Uh-huh.
I got that going on.
Or you just went to a big festival, I imagine.
Yeah.
You did some kind of
I didn't.
shaker movement.
I didn't. There was no. I guess so. I've only been going this for a couple of years, and I guess there used to be this big ongoing drum circle, and that got dissolved. I don't know what happened, but I didn't see it or hear it. But no, I was just doing a lot of dancing. That's all. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Not so much playing. I'm more of an enjoyment taker of music as opposed to. But I used to play. I used to play hand drums a lot. Yeah.
A little bit similar to you when I was whatever age, 12 or something. And take it back. You talked about you get an instrument in school. You go from
Yeah.
a tonette, a little plastic,
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that.
and then somewhere along the line, 5th, 6th grade, you get to pick an instrument.
Yeah.
I told my father I wanted to play the saxophone.
Oh boy.
And he goes, "Oh, that's great because your cousin Mary, she has a clarinet that she's not playing anymore." And I said, "Well, that's not a saxophone." He said, "Yeah, but everyone learns how to play the clarinet first
They do
because he had it,
Yeah.
And so I went on the clarinet there for a couple of years. But,
Okay.
But I didn't enjoy it. So then I wanted a guitar.
Yeah.
And it came with the caveat that you have to take lessons on the guitar from, there used to be a place in Fairhaven,
Okay.
and he dropped me off, and they give you a little Mel Bay book to start. And I did the first week, the second week, and then third week I turned to the guy. I was like maybe 12, 13, 14, something.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't think this is like what I want to be doing. Can you teach me the blues? And he said, "Okay, I can't teach you the blues here, but if you want to take private lessons at my home,
Okay.
we could explore that." And luckily, my dad was okay with it.
Oh, cool. All right.
And this guy, Jim DiMartino, I don't know if he's still around, but he was a classical guitarist by his practice. But what he did was on Saturdays, I would go there for an hour and a half in the morning on a Saturday morning, and he just got my ear and mind to open. He would play for me Miles Davis.
Yeah.
He would play for me Bach. He would play for me the Beatles. He would just keep exposing me to all different forms of music.
Yeah.
And I think that was to see what attracted me. What would
Interesting.
Be my
What
path.
kind of like, what did you listen to? When did you perk up? I guess it was- yeah.
And then we would
Yeah.
spend the last half hour playing. We'd pick out a progression and we'd play against that, or some melody or whatever it might be, where he'd teach,
That's super cool.
fingerings.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how long I did that, but it was like awesome. It was
Yeah.
music history,
Yeah.
or music exploration,
Yeah.
rather than Mel Bay book, page 10, play Spot the Dog,
Yeah. No, I remember doing that, like doing the and all that. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I got exposed to bass differently, and maybe I'd still be playing, because I did enjoy it. I wasn't very good. I was first bass in the orchestra, but I think that's only because there was a guy who was a year below me who was much better. He was much more dedicated, much better bass player than me. But I think the conductor was kind of like, I'm a senior, all this kind of thing. So he threw
Give
me
you
a
the
bone.
seat.
Yeah, he gave me the seat. But yeah, and I don't think the guy, I forget his name, the guy who's a junior, I don't think he might have even been a sophomore. I don't know. I just know he was very
good.
much so. I would goof around. I mean, it was, it was high school. I was just having fun. Yeah, but it was a fun instrument to play. Yeah.
When I was in high school, I went to North Haven High School, local, and the years I was there went under some kind of strange change, that you didn't have the standard classes, and people were like grouped into these different programs. And one of the programs I was put into was this music program. And I really was not an exceptional musician. I didn't, outside of Jim DiMartino on a Saturday, I had no formal training, but got thrown into this class, and it was divided into 4 sections over the course of the academic year. So each semester was divided in half. And one half, for instance, was writing for woodwind quartets.
Oh, okay.
And another half was writing for a string quintet. Another was writing for a 15-piece orchestral group. And another was writing for a vocal group. I had no talent whatsoever for it, David. I was like, writing notes just wasn't my thing, and I'm like sweating it out. But like you with the bass player, there was this guy, Alan Ciociola.
Okay.
I think he was like a direct descendant of Beethoven.
Oh my God. Yeah. Just
he
would just sit there and just
he could draw all the dots and the
just like,
lines,
that's crazy.
and have it come to life.
That is so impressive to me. Even if you're not writing the music, if you're like if you're playing the music, and I told this to the band last night, they were here. It's like you just. So I always think, even like at these you go to, it's like, oh, it's always like a jam session. You always make it up as you go along, but then no, it's like you know all those notes, you just know them. You just play, and there's like, we're always like a few notes ahead, always like a few notes ahead, and so we just know what's happening. And then they started talking about like, and sometimes we'll improv a little bit, and you kind of just like somebody who do something, you kind of go off on this thing, and like what a gift to be able to like just be able to play an instrument like you're just like you're talking, and you can just sort of that is so cool. My girlfriend and I went to one of her friends' daughter was graduating. It's a school up in Massachusetts. I can't remember the name of the college, but she was graduating with some sort of a musical arts degree or something like that. And she, for her final thesis or whatever it was, she put together this whole musical show, and it wasn't just like an orchestral thing. I think she wrote all the music except for maybe a couple pieces, but she had like a wind quartet come on first to play a couple numbers, and then she had she did write all pieces, and then she had this professional string quartet come on, which were amazing. And then she had some other music that was electronic composed. She did this video, and then I'm just like, then I'm thinking about how did this college. I mean, she wrote all this music, and it was all a little bit different. It wasn't in one sort of genre.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
And you
people can
said
do
there
that.
was an electronic element.
There was an
also?
electronic element in it. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's in this high school program. One of the quarters was experimental sound. I nailed Alan on that part.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I came in and did a whole thing on feedback. It was,
Okay. Oh, nice. All right.
That was cool.
Yeah. So no, it's just I just find that because I can't. I would never. Maybe I didn't practice enough. I did buy a guitar at one point with a big, thick guitar book. And I learned a bunch of chords. A lot of my friends helped me because a lot of my friends are guitar players. So I learned a bunch of chords, and I was pretty good at playing the chords and stuff. But I always like chords are one thing, but I always like the picking. I've always enjoyed picking, like Jerry picks, and then Lindsey Buckingham. You probably know him.
Sure.
His guitar is just it's amazing. We saw him in concert years ago. It was right after he left Fleetwood Mac. He put on his own tour, and I guess we caught the first show of his tour. It was somewhere in Connecticut. I can't remember. It was so good. Yeah, it was so much fun and just listening to play. Yeah, super, super
The whole
talented.
group is talented.
Yeah. So
Interesting story about how Lindsay and who's the main singer? Who's the female lead?
oh, Stevie.
Stevie
Yeah,
Nicks. How
yeah.
they met the drummer, right? How that all came together. I don't know if you know their story.
A little bit. I think maybe the Fleetwood Mac was touring or something, and maybe they saw them in a club because they were just playing clubs, Lindsay and Stevie at the time. But I don't remember the details of sort of how they met and got folded into the band. I can't remember.
Yeah, and I shouldn't like expound on their story, but according to article I read by
Okay.
Mick Fleetwood,
Oh, okay.
he was going into that studio to record, but didn't have like all the elements together, what he wanted to do. And Lindsay was a guy working in the studio as
okay.
a second engineer or something along that line. And Stevie was like the chambermaid for the place. And somewhere along the line,
Yeah.
things worked out in a big way.
Yeah, in a big way. Yeah.
So you never know what's
Yeah.
on the horizon there, David.
Yeah. That was, I told you about the Allman Brothers.
You might be playing bass on the next Clapton tour.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. I'm going to go out. There's a music shop up the road. Maybe I'll go pick up a used bass or something. But before I was an Allman Brothers fan, I told you earlier, I had a neighbor, and his dad had a beautiful sound system. I was like, really, really nice. And so I go over there one day, and we're just kind of like playing these records. And the same thing happened that I said happened with Allman Brothers, happened with Fleetwood Mac. He put on the first Fleetwood Mac album with Lindsay and, the whole new lineup.
Yep.
And the same thing I said, I was like, who are these people? You know?
Yeah.
And I was a big Fleetwood Mac fan. Yeah.
They
it's
created a really
so good.
smooth sound, didn't they?
Yeah, they really did. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Monday
And good
morning.
writers, good songwriters. Christy McVie.
She
take
passed
exception.
not too long ago. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, but she's a great songwriter. I love her voice too. Yeah,
Yeah, I liked her lower alto
yeah,
voice. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah. It was a good. Everybody was a little bit different. They all contributed something, and they were all songwriters, and they all had their own songs. And I think that was really good as a band. It wasn't just the same. It was a very different band, and just Lindsay's guitar playing was incredible. Yeah, they were a fun band.
It's good when you can Lennon and McCartney, or, when you have these combination writers contributing.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, no, it is super cool. Yeah, so I guess those are my two earliest, most favorite bands. But yeah, I mean, my world has expanded exponentially in the
I'm sure.
last few years. Yeah,
Nice.
which is great. Yeah, it's fun, kind of opening your ears to new stuff and being open to it.
I saw the Allman Brothers at Quinnipiac College.
Oh, boy.
Lord knows what year that was.
Okay.
But I think they were the opening act
Oh,
for
interesting.
Johnny Winter
Wow.
at Quinnipiac College.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
probably tickets were like $2.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and nobody knew who they were. Yeah, pretty incredible. Those guys, and then sad. So Dwayne died, and then Barry died, but they still went on. Yeah, Greg is. Yeah, I remember I saw Greg. Greg played in a movie or something. Greg is one of my. I gotta say, Greg's just one of my heroes. I think he's just. Yeah. He's an amazing individual. Kind of what he went through and progression of that band and just the songwriting.
Could have been a dentist.
Could have been a dentist.
You know that?
Yeah. I think so. Something like that. I kind of remember reading that. I was reading. Was it his memoir? I think it might have been his memoir that came out. I was reading that.
That's
Yeah.
what he thought he would be going
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think.
I think you're
you
right. I
never
think it
know
was,
what to believe in writing
yeah, I know,
anymore.
right? Yeah, but I think it was something like that. Yeah. He's dentist, but yeah, yeah, there he was. Yeah, torn the world. The Allman Brothers is kind of cool. Yeah, it's good stuff.
And their legacy lives on.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
when I did an album for Columbia Records, John Matthias was the producer, my co-producer,
Yeah.
partner in crime for that one. But he did Dickie Betts's albums,
Oh, okay. Yep.
so connection on that.
Yeah.
And Dickie's an interesting person from a few stories that John
Okay.
shared, that he enjoyed maybe bear hunting a little bit
Okay.
more than
Yeah.
some aspects of the business.
Yeah. I think the relationship with Dickie was a little rocky, maybe in the mid to later years of the band. Yeah. From what I understand. But yeah. So why were you involved with, what album did you produce? Let's get there. Mark Place back in the 80s.
The
Yeah.
Columbia Records
Yeah.
thing?
The Columbia Records thing. Yeah. Where do you want to start with that story?
Yeah, that's a long path
That's a
to get there.
long path to get to. Yeah.
But I talked to Joyce last night and
Yeah.
shared, boil it down to one little quick snippet. I cut some demos in New York. Was introduced to a really nice guy that had a small studio and gave me the honor of being able, over a year and a half's time, to develop some 20 plus demo tracks for Vern Solicito. And then we submitted it. Someone I knew had a job at Columbia, and they in turn took that and gave it to someone. They gave it to someone, gave it to someone, gave it to someone.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And I was totally broke at the time. I was at my parents' house having breakfast, and I left their phone number, luckily, on the demo tape, because I didn't have a phone.
Right.
And I got a call.
Now, when was this? What year? Like decade, at least?
Oh, we're in the 80s.
Okay, when the 80s.
Mid-80s.
Yeah.
And having a bowl of cereal. And hi, this is Don DeVito. I'm the head of A&R for Columbia Records, and is like Bob Schmigan there. And I go, oh, fuck. Finally get the call. He's got the wrong name, How crazy is this? But he couldn't read the handwriting.
Okay.
On the tape
Okay.
box. But then he read the tunes, and we agreed.
Gotcha.
So he said he was interested, and could we arrange to, do a show in New York at SAR, Studio Instrument Rentals,
Yeah.
and come down and check us out and see what happens. No promises, but see what it is. And took the group down to New York. We were all from Connecticut,
Yeah.
and piled into SAR, and we're setting up and doing the sound check. And the guys from SAR, because everybody in the world flows through SAR in New York, they're all rehearsing or renting equipment, whatever. And they asked me, they said, "Oh, who are you playing for today?" And I said, "Oh, Don DeVito, Columbia Records." And they go, "Oh, he doesn't sign anybody." just completely through the whole day, into the ground. But we did our thing.
Sure.
And sometimes things that you don't plan come to your benefit.
Yeah.
I had wanted background singers to record a couple of these demos, and I couldn't decide which background singers. We had a lot of people come through auditions, and I had about 7, that I kind of narrowed it down to. And when we're going to do this thing at SAR, I narrowed 2 people out, but took 5, and it's a 4-piece band. So when DeVito walks in the room, he's got a 4-piece band with a 5-piece background singing. It's just different.
Right.
Just presented a different kind of thing. Short end of the story is we wound up getting signed by Don DeVito and him becoming the guy for us. Don
That's awesome.
produced 4 Bob Dylan albums.
Wow.
He did 2 of the studio albums and 2 of the live albums. So, it was great, being able to get through that hoop and onto the label. And
That's crazy.
from there, they, you go to work. I
Yeah.
think we had a little studio down in Norwalk that we would run the demos for the album.
Okay.
And I think we wrote and produced like 85 songs for a 10-song album.
Wow.
And every day my bass player would drive, pick me up. And as we're driving to the studio, you're writing a song, figure it out, lyrics. And that's what we did for like a year's time. So put that many tunes together. And
That's crazy. Where do you get I mean, you're writing in the car, right? So where do you get your inspiration from for the
Lord knows, David.
just like, whatever's happening during that day kind of thing, or something clicks and you see something and you just sort of expand?
I know I've heard it from other people that write as well. You're like a conduit, Lord knows
Gotcha.
where these things come from.
Yeah.
There's something that happens.
Yeah.
There's some catalyst.
Yeah.
And very
for
often
sure.
something happens to you that results in
Yeah.
some form of lyrics or music comes
Yeah.
out. But
I guess it's practice too. I mean, if you keep it you keep doing it every day or regularly, whatever.
and I'm not like one of those guys. Oh, if you write every day, then you're a writer. I'm like, I don't know. When it comes to
Yeah.
you, it's
it comes to you. You
with
go with it. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
kind of build it from there.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And one of the songs on the new album is like 5 different things over a course of like a 3-month period.
Yeah.
And I don't know how number 1 related to 5, but
Yeah.
eventually they all wound up together.
The one you just put out, or will be coming out.
Yeah,
rather.
coming out in a couple of days, yeah.
So we'll play one of the cuts from that.
Yeah.
We'll throw that in the show for sure.
And so,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've talked to a lot of folks that write and play, so I don't know that there's any kind of
Yeah.
advice I could give other than keep yourself open.
Yeah, I guess it's just being open. Yeah, like Mick, who was here yesterday, he writes some really good songs. Yeah, it's really cool and just knowing him for a couple of years, and his writing skills are getting better. Everything's getting better. It's cool to go see a band or see a musician or something, and who's good, who's kind of coming up, and then you wait a few months and you go back and you're like, what happened to this guy? Like, everything's better. Everything.
Wow. Oh, that's
yeah.
good.
So it's
people
really cool.
do turn corners, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, it's pretty cool. How long were you with Don? Dan? Don?
Don
Don.
DeVito. It was about a 5-year run,
Oh,
but
that's good.
we unfortunately, there's an old saying about it's all in the timing.
Yeah.
And one of the things that worked against us was the fact that CBS, the parent, didn't want to fight Sony for control of the medium that was going to be the technology that was on the horizon.
Being
In that time frame, CBS owned the patent rights to CDs and the CD format, and Sony owned the patent and rights to digital tape, DAT tape.
okay.
And the fight was going to be, what does the consumer population around the world going to use next?
Right.
It's going to get out of 8-track.
Yeah.
Now it's going to go.
8-track didn't last long, I don't think.
No,
Yeah.
well, technology sped up.
Yeah.
Is it going to go to CDs or is it going to go to DAT tape? And, I'm not the legal expert, so, hope I'm not throwing this the wrong way, but it's kind of how it was explained to me, is that CBS, the foundation of CBS, Mr. Paley, was in broadcast. So radio and TV
Okay.
were the foundational pieces, and then the other components like movies and film, those came later.
Yeah.
And highly regarded. I mean, the Red Label is, that was like the bomb. If you can get on Columbia, that was great. But TV was having its problems. Network television was not being competitive. They were losing a lot of money there, and they wanted to bolster, the TV side, and didn't want to keep paying the legal fees to fight Sony over patents and markets and things like that. And so they wound up selling Columbia Records. They wound up selling the film end of the enterprise to Sony. And of course, when you do that, then Sony eliminates all the people
Yeah.
in the States.
Oh.
And, our guy who is the head of A&R now becomes like the guy has a much lower level, non-influential position within the company. You know, he stayed on. I shouldn't speak for him. He had a freaking major career, but his role was greatly diminished, and a lot of the side people were expelled from the company. So we kind of lost our legs and support.
Yeah.
But
it
happens.
It happens. Yeah. What kind of touring did you tour with people during? I'm sure you. I'm assuming did you tour during that 5-year stint? To promote the records and whatnot.
Not a lot alive, just because we were at the cusp.
Okay.
We were good at recording.
Okay.
And what we were really good at was getting radio play.
Okay.
Surprisingly, I don't know if you know about P1, P2.
No.
Station markets. Like
No.
P1 market is over 1 million people. And the terminology, that was back then. Who knows what the terminology is now because of streaming and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little familiar with markets, just I've worked in TV, so I kind of get the whole market share and all that, larger markets, smaller markets, all that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, we were released same week that Mick Jagger released his solo album.
Okay.
And we surpassed him. We had
Wow.
200 radio stations to his 50, I think it was at that time. And the thing that we were able to do that I was told, I don't know where these facts reside, but we sold not only East and West Coast, which most of the main Columbia artists sold on coast before they got through the Midwest, is we sold across the Midwest as well.
Okay.
So we captured all three geographies in the country based on a couple of songs we had going.
Yeah.
And another thing, timing. I don't know if you know who Michael Mann is. Michael Mann's a film producer.
I know the name.
He did a movie called Heat with Nero.
Yeah, I know the movie, definitely.
But back in the day, he had a TV show called Miami Vice.
Oh, yeah.
And the Who resurrected.
Maybe that's how I know him. Yeah, Miami Vice. Yeah.
The Who resurrected their career with Eminence Front.
Okay.
Miami Vice.
Yep.
And Michael had gotten an early release on the album because Columbia would send out, early cuts, to folks. And he had called and liked the album and wanted to go on 3 consecutive episodes, put one song, which was a huge coup for an unknown artist.
Yeah.
It was great,
Yeah.
Not a fan of the show, but, fan of getting the band out
How
there.
can you not be a fan of Miami Vice? I mean, that back in the day? Anyway.
No, I didn't watch TV. No,
Okay,
I'm
there you
not a
go.
TV guy. I didn't know much about it.
Yeah.
But it was a nice offer, and Columbia put in a bunch of money to buy up advertising in Billboard magazine and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Just before the episodes were to air, a writer's strike hit. And the writer's strike killed any new shows coming out for the next whatever period of time it was. And Columbia had to wind up pulling the album back, and we're going to re-release it for Christmas instead of in February. And then CBS sold to Sony. It's just an amalgam of boulders falling off the cliff at the same time.
Yeah.
But, it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. What'd you do after all that happened? And
Raised a family.
there you go. All right.
Yeah, I got into being a human being for a while.
Human beings are good.
Yeah. And
But you always stayed
wonderful.
You always stayed in music, though. I'm guessing.
it's always with you.
Yeah.
You continue to write. Maybe not as often or as focused, but I met some good players here in the area.
Yeah.
And that was on advice back in those New York days. They said you should move back to a place where you're comfortable. Because I used to get players in New York, but then all of a sudden they'd be offered like $3,000 a week to go on tour with somebody.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get that. I couldn't get that stability going, but I was able to do that here.
Did you ever think about being like a session musician or anything like that? If you couldn't
those are things afforded to you by word of mouth,
Oh, interesting. So it's not something you apply for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
I don't know how it works. Yeah.
in my even earlier youth, 19, I was,
Okay.
and I had the opportunity of a lifetime. 19, I was like the session guitarist at Electric Ladyland Studios
Wow.
in New York, and I was a huge Hendrix guy,
Okay.
and what a thrill. So I'm
Yeah, I
on
bet.
somebody's record somewhere,
That's cool. Yeah.
some dusty shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
But the experience of being in that recording studio was freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I visited you at Sonolist, I don't know, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good studio.
Yeah. Are you able to send me that just the track, just
I can't.
the one that, yeah, because I got all that footage and I got nothing to do with it because I don't have this. So I want to put that together eventually.
Comes out on Sunday,
Okay, I'll also use that one.
but I'll send you
that'd
that
be good.
track specifically.
That'd be
Sure.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Because that was fun. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, you guys were great. It was cool to watch the process and watch you play and your bandmates and everything. And what a treat that was. So thank you for having me there. That was fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and that tune. I was working on a different song, and I was really pissed about a lot of things, as some of us can get and what's going on these days.
Sure.
And I wrote a song I was working on called "Blood in the Air."
Yeah.
And it's really digs in, and somewhere in between writing, getting the exact lyrics together, and all this, all of a sudden this other song comes flying in. Shh. And this one's all complete for you, sir.
Yeah.
This one is all done. This is A to Z, and it's the lighter side of that coin.
Yeah.
This is the same theme, but this is the more gentle way to say, instead of blood in the air. And that's the song that you came
that's the
in
song,
on.
yeah, the song I came in on.
And it
Yeah,
has
yeah,
a
you were
much
telling me that.
lighter, like
Yeah.
oh blah dee blah da,
Yeah.
It has a different element about it,
Right.
Very happy with it, the way it came out. But the backstory is that this came on
Okay.
told me to
Do that one.
calm down a little bit.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah.
You know, people maybe don't want to be hit in the head.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to listen to it. I haven't heard anything yet, except what's on my camera mic, which obviously.
Clips.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
thanks for coming to the studio. That was
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. Yeah.
Evan
That was a blast.
Backey, the main engineer there,
Yep.
it was wonderful working with him.
Yeah.
He went beyond the engineer role, which
he?
was great.
Yeah.
Became a team member
Yeah.
with us, and very cool.
What a fabulous place. I mean, just the acoustics in there and the way it's built and just the wood and the cathedral type ceiling and the baffles and so on and so forth and different rooms you can open and close and whatnot. And yeah. So how did you record? I think I asked you this before, but I don't remember because again, so I'm a novice here. I don't know, but some people record. I remember the one thing though is the Allman Brothers. I think they always recorded as a full band. Now, they probably did overdubs, I'm guessing. I have no idea, but what I read is that they always record as a full band because they want that. They want that live, that sound, right?
Right.
But some bands, they lay down the drum track and then everybody comes in and then you got
Layer
the
it.
guitar and they layer it. So everybody does their piece at one at a time. But I felt like you sort of had like a combination, maybe. How do you record the album?
Yeah, so we very much went in as a rehearsed, we focused, narrowed down the songs that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then over, 6 weeks or so, really focused in on all the nuances
Yeah.
of what it is we want to track that were familiar enough. And then we picked the Power Station because you have that luxury of the space, but to isolate everybody, but everyone still has eye contact and can still
Yeah.
relate and play together. And, a marvel to the guys in the band because 2 takes on each song was
It's
all
amazing.
to get the band track. We'd layer in an overdub on guitar, maybe
Right.
a harmony part, an acoustic guitar over,
Gotcha.
There's a
Okay.
couple of little,
Yeah.
laid in elements. And certainly when you listen, hopefully you can do that with headphones and
Yeah.
appreciate all the little nuanced stuff.
Right.
But kudos to the group. They
Yeah.
they
That's
were
awesome.
focused, and And the groove was good, you know.
Yeah, and you just get a better sound that way instead of all being in the same room and trying to mic everybody, and you have the
I think it comes out in the track somehow.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. If you like techno music, then, you know,
yeah.
what can be wrong with everything being in its place, you know?
Yeah, I got you.
You know, you know, sometimes it's the magic of the studio, the interpretation. Like when you play one night, you know, you're playing live, and that night you want to play these notes instead of those notes.
Right.
And, you know.
Which is what we were talking about just earlier. It's like you're in the midst of it, and you're like, instead of saying one thing, you're going to say something a little bit different, and you just do it with your guitar or your bass or your drum or whatever like that. Yeah. No, that's cool.
So, again, kudos to the guys in the band.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Al Bartosi's the drummer. Jim Lawson's the bass player. Mario Donato is a keyboardist, and August Marin, who's my son, plays a role in the band as well as a keyboardist, guitarist, singer.
Okay. Nice. Did I meet? I don't think I met him. Was he there?
Yeah. Yeah, you were there because we were tracking the tunes.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
But he was not playing on that track.
Oh, maybe that's why I don't. Yeah, that's why I don't remember. Yeah.
That's the one track he's not on.
Okay.
But we.
Oh, was he playing in that? Because there was somebody in that little room right
That's
off
right.
the.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
And August is talented in his own right. Like incredibly, I think I'm his dad.
Of course, yeah.
Incredibly talented.
Is.
But we do a ballad. We do one ballad on the album, and what he adds in terms of the harmony vocal, like tears you up. You know, it's really good.
Yeah.
August is so talented. He started on piano at like about 3.5 or so. My wife and I had been told about a piano teacher in the area, because August used to crawl to the piano when he was one or 1.5 and sit there for like 20 minutes and entertain himself. So I asked the piano teacher, you know, can you come check out August? We'd love to have lessons. And she said, I really don't start lessons till they're 7 and they can read.
Right.
That way they can read words, they can read music, and, you know. But she agreed to come to the house. And I said, at least maybe you can tell us what we can do as parents to prep him between the ages of 3.5 and 7, you know. And she came to the house, and he sat down at the piano, and she said, I'll take him.
Wow, get out.
Yeah. So he went with her for a good while until classical music wasn't his thing.
Now, how old was he at that point again?
3.5 when he started.
Yeah. Wow, and, that's amazing. Yeah, that's that's crazy. Yeah, because my middle, I have 3 grandsons. So my youngest grandchild's I think 7, 8 months now. So
wow.
Yeah, and my other grandson's he's 6. So I'm trying to think when he was 3. It's amazing what kids can do, though, because I mean he's driving a race car now. He started last year when he was 5. He drives a quarter midgets up in it's crazy to watch this kid who's just a kid. He's 100% a kid. He's just goofing off and playing with toys, and then he gets in the race car and he like races around this track. It's really bonkers to see. Yeah.
You're
So it's
have
amazing.
To tell me about this. This
yeah.
Cool.
No, it's super cool. So it's called Quarter Midgets, Silver City Quarter Midgets. It's out of Meriden.
Huh.
So they go every Saturday. Started last year. So they rented a quarter midget. It's like it's a go-kart.
Yeah.
But it's built with sort of built cockeyed because you go around this oval.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be sort of otherwise you wipe out. So
you make the turns.
Yeah, you make the turns. So the wheels on I think the right side they're out farther than on the left, so it has that extra stability.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he's got the whole fire suit and the helmet and the gloves and the thing, and they strap him in, and he's crashed. And so last year when he started, I went like the very early race, one of the first races, and they go in the morning and they do like I call them time trials, but they call them something else. But essentially, you kind of race in the morning, you kind of get your place for the afternoon race. They're called something else, I can't remember. Qualifying, I guess maybe.
Sure.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So, and he's good. He can hold the line. He can drive really good, but he had a real problem when he was with the other cars. He was a little bit nervous about passing other cars, so it was really difficult. So he never really did well, in the beginning. And then I got busy, and I didn't get to see him again until towards the end of the season. So a few months have gone by, and so I go see him, and this kid is killing it. He's winning races. He got the track record, all this stuff, and he's 5, and he just started.
5.
He's 5. So they boosted up. Now he's driving the same thing, but it's called. It's just a faster car. It's called the Honda, the junior Honda division.
Okay.
So it's a faster car, older kids.
Wow.
So I haven't seen a race yet, so I got to go. But yeah, every Saturday, and I think they travel now too, so they go to different tracks. Not a lot, but maybe I think 3 times out of the summer they go.
That's good. A little exposure to be outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, no, it's really
Gives
good.
you a different mindset.
And it's a great community. It's all volunteer, so you sign up, you pay your dues, and but part of those dues is volunteering during the races. My daughter goes up in the announce booth. And she does, announcing all that kind of stuff. And then my son-in-law, he's down on the track helping whatever they do, with the flags, and somebody wipes out. They go because they got to push them to start, So
Sure.
you go, and whatever has to happen down there. But it's a whole community, and you go into the pits, and you would think it's like a NASCAR race. I mean, they got the trailers, they got stacks of tires, and all the tool kits, and the whole bit. I mean, it's serious. And you get to the kids who are like teenagers, 13, 14, whatever, and they are just cruising around that track. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, these kids are going so fast, and they're so big that they as they're going, they stick their heads out the side.
Yeah.
And so all you see this little tiny car and this big kid with his head out, and they're just cruising. It's really it's a trip. Yeah. Quarter midgets. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And I guess, is it Logano? Was he the racer from Connecticut? Anyway, I think this is, if that's his name, this is where he got to start. This track is where he got to start.
Interesting.
Way back when, yeah. So it's kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So JJ's a racer, yeah.
How awesome
yeah.
is that?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's super cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'll be Googling that tonight.
Yeah, you got to check that out. Yeah. So what'd you do in between, you're raising your family, you're keeping up with the guitar and stuff, and then kind of when did you start up again lately to kind of decide that you want to go back in the studio? Was this always something that was kind of percolating, always kind of hanging with the band and practicing or whatever? How did that?
Yeah, we kept the dotted line. We recorded some. There were intervals. We recorded actually at Sonolist once. We did an album that's up on YouTube that you can, or Apple, whatever platform.
Okay.
We did an album called Sonolist Sessions. We did another. We would always. I'm more on the recording side.
Yeah.
Nothing against playing local spots, and
Right.
we'd love to play any local spot. We're good. But
We got a
when I
couple
was-
things coming up soon, which we could, let's see, Toad's Place on the 7th, 11th of July, June.
Yeah, right around.
And then the
corner.
7th up at, what's the?
Brookside Farm
Farms,
Museum,
yeah.
Pastoral Grounds, Outdoor
Yeah,
Woodstock,
yeah.
revised.
Yeah, that's gonna
whatever.
be, I try to make that awesome.
It should be cool, and that's a longer show. That's like
Okay.
a 2+ hour.
Okay.
show.
So you're playing with other bands up at?
No.
Oh, it's just you.
At
Oh no,
Brookside
okay, no, I
Farms.
was looking at the schedule. That's right. No, I
Toads
saw a bunch
has
of
a
bands.
couple other acts.
Okay, man, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
We're the special guest for the evening.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun. Should
Yeah.
be fun. But we continued to record, even though I had children.
Good.
There's a number of albums out. Havens is
Okay.
one,
All
but
right. because
because we all live around New Haven.
Oh, nice.
It's
All
called
right.
The Havens.
Yeah.
We have that one. We did one at Sonolist. And then we did, this is maybe an interesting story to some folks, but my bass player was the guy really encouraging to let's get it back together on a more,
Right.
scheduled thing, see where we can go. And we were just starting to put it back together. And I contact someone that I knew, a friend, said, how would you like to play the Iridium in New York? I don't know if you're familiar with that club, but that was where Les Paul
Okay.
would be. And to me, being a guitarist, that's like
Yeah.
going to Mecca as,
Yeah.
that would be great. I'd love to play.
Yeah.
And I had met Les Paul in '86, sat down like this, just by circumstance.
Right.
He was playing at a place in Connecticut. I knew I couldn't go to the show because I had another commitment, but I do know that people usually check in between 2 and 4 o'clock and do a sound check. So I went to the venue to see if they were sound checking and if I could talk my way into
Right.
watching the sound check. I go to the venue, and the guy answers the door, and I said, well, is Les Paul? They doing sound check. They said, no, but Les is up in this room over here if you want to go sit
Okay.
with him. And I walked in, and is a restaurant kind of set
Right.
up, if the picture. And he's sitting alone at a table, nobody else in the room at all. And he goes, come on in. And I sat down just like this.
That's
this
crazy.
is as close as we were. And
Yeah.
longer than you and I are talking now. Spent like 2 hours with Les.
Wow. That's
learning
amazing.
from the master, his lexicon of stories, which
Yeah.
has got so many.
Sure.
And anyways, he wound up signing my guitar.
Nice.
One thing funny, David, that he said after a very comfortable 2 hours, just like this, very
Right.
swapping tails. And he told me at the end, he goes, well, I hope I don't remember you. I go, okay, well, crush me at the door. Thanks, Les. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And he said, no, it's not like that. He said, back in the day, when everyone was playing club gigs and gigs, like there were so many good players, that was great. He said it was easier to remember who the lousy players were. And if I asked the agent who's on the gig, and if he mentions certain names, I remember that guy stinks.
Okay.
I'm not taking the job.
Oh, interesting.
So if he doesn't
So it was a
remember
compliment.
your name, it was a compliment.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was great. So now, whatever it was, X many years later, I get this call to come, you want to play the Iridium? I have a contact. The
Yeah.
guy that books the Iridium was in London at the time.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, of course. And I sent stuff that we had done, asked me for more stuff, sent more stuff. And then they come back and they go, well, can you do something that's representative of what you do now? We can tell by the recording styles that this was a decade ago or this was this. So I said, okay, I'll go in the studio and we'll lay down 4 tunes and send them over. And we used Firehouse 12.
Okay.
In New
Out
Haven.
of New Haven, yeah.
Craig DaCosta, great guy, great engineer. We have some very talented people in the area. And the object was to cut 4 songs, like 45 seconds as a demo, just a taste.
45 seconds each song? Or
That was the original
Okay.
concept. But
Okay.
then when we all got there, we said, well, we're here, we might as well
Do the whole.
cut
do-
the whole
go
song.
to- yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
cut the whole
Might as
tune.
well.
And I said, okay, song selection. There's this one song that I really want to do. It's called Eyes of Need. And we're going to do this as a very heavy,
Yeah.
it's going to be a heavy song because the message in it's very intense and very heavy. People need, a wake up, I thought. So we did that. We put the demo together, sent it off to London, blah, blah, blah. 2 months, 3 months goes by, hear nothing, what's up? Well, they're changing owners.
Okay.
There's a lag. They're overbooked. It's like one story after the other.
Yeah.
And you go, crap. Okay. And I played it nonchalantly for a friend. And they said, this would make a great video. You should make this into a video. And I said, yeah, that's like what I do every day. Is
Right.
How do you make a video? And they said, oh, I know a guy is, he's a director and producer. I'll hook you up with him.
Yeah.
Sam Pakinen. And got introduced to Sam, and Sam was all, played him the song. And he said, into it. He said, but we don't have any budget. And I go, oh, yeah, well, that's accurate. We don't. But for the next 3 months or better, we sat around looking at different footage that's available. There's the term for it. Don't skip at me. But you have access to footage that you don't
like
have to pay royalty.
free. Yeah. Like this
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we filtered through, lots of material, shot some, edited, did that whole thing. And Sam put this wonderful video together, it really has the same level of intensity as the song does,
Right.
which I thought was cool. But, you know, I'm sitting at home and I get to look at it and share it with a friend. What we're going to do. But I went back to the person that introduced us to show him, oh, you introduced me to Sam. Here's the video. And he said, oh, this came out great. He said, you should enter this in film festivals. I go, yeah, I can't even get a gig at the local, burger bar.
Right.
And you want me to apply at a film festival, all right? He goes, yeah, no. You go and do this, do that. And he laid out a couple of things, and reluctantly at first, trying to figure it out because I'm not a technical guy. But short end of the story, David we submitted it in a bunch of film festivals. We've won 5 international film awards for best music
That's
video.
Incredible.
The Los Angeles Film and Documentary Awards to me was like, that's pretty special.
That's pretty special.
And recently, just a month or so ago, we won our 5th award, and it was the Alpine International Film Festival. And I don't know if you know what Davos is.
I don't.
It's when all the political leaders from around the planet gather in Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
And for a yearly summit, Davos. And the Alpine is in Switzerland, and it's all based around social consciousness, the whole thing. So to win that award equally, as special as are the others. Stockholm. We won the Stockholm, Sweden Film Festival, the Argentina World Film Festival. So all those things were very cool, very great. And one of the things at the end of the video, Eyes of Need, is about the impact of us idiot adults on children. War and all these things put the burden on kids. The Eyes of Need. That I wanted to make sure that we aligned that message with, if something positive happened because of the video, there would be a benefactor to it. And UNICEF is what we worked with.
Awesome.
To put that together, to promote visibility for UNICEF. And we have that in our Instagram and Facebook that people recognize. UNICEF, please. And working through the community here in New Haven, wound up working with the UNICEF group out of Yale University, and we put together a benefit this past December fundraiser for UNICEF.
Wow.
Alex Schiavone and the people at Friends Center for Children in New Haven were nice enough to loan us the Flint Street Theater.
Okay.
And we pulled together what I thought was a pretty incredible night. We had the Assistant Attorney General of the UN come be a speaker. We had a woman, Alia Afshar, that was in charge of USAID projects in the Middle East, be a speaker. We had Dominic Chianese, for those of you that watched The Sopranos, Uncle Junior.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
His wife Jane, who passed away, worked for the UN and UNICEF for 30 plus years.
Wow.
He gave a real heartfelt talk. So we had all these wonderful speakers. Miriam Sutton from Friends Center and the Yale students, gave these talks, and then the band played. We aired 2 videos.
Okay.
We played the official video that won the awards. And we played, Sam also made a video of the original demo recording back for Columbia Records.
Wow.
When we cut those 85 tunes, one of them was Eyes of Need, had more of a jazzier sound to it.
So that's been kicking around a while then.
But I was always locked into the message,
Yeah.
and really had an opportunity to make it grow. And when Columbia heard it, they go, nah, we don't.
Wasn't its time, that's all.
It wasn't its time.
Probably wouldn't get the legs it has now, I bet you, because it's just
who knows?
Let it ferment or whatever you call it. That's cool, though. That's amazing.
Yeah, so,
And that's cool. You're working with UNICEF. I remember as a kid trick-or-treating, we all get the UNICEF thing, and I don't think they do that anymore.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
And, David, they're on the front line of the most catastrophic places on the planet.
Yeah.
And those places that are real hotbeds now aren't allowing anybody in and UNICEF is at least finding cracks in the
Yeah.
in the wall to get in and try to get aid in. So, feel honored that we can do anything to help that cause. And
So good.
right now we're talking, keeping the conversation up with the Yale students. We're going to do another one come the fall.
Okay.
We'll do another benefit for them there.
Amazing.
So, glad to see the
keep me-
video take off.
Keep me in the loop. Yeah, about the stuff coming up. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be a part of that if I could.
Yeah.
Help out any way I can. Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
So we'll throw a bunch of links up there. We'll throw some videos into the podcast here. We'll get that stuff out there so people could see what you're talking about and appreciate it as
Thanks.
much as I do. So I think that'll be really, really good. Anything else you want to let us know about before we say
Album
goodbye?
drop on Sunday.
All right.
It's called Vignettes.
All right. We can find you on all the.
You name it.
Have you heard of? I'm trying to promote this because I really like this platform, Qobuz.
No.
So you're on Qobuz, by the way.
COBAS.
QOBUZ. QOBUZ.
Okay.
Qobuz. So it's a music
You'll have
listening.
to give me that.
Yeah, I'll shoot it to you. So Qobuz, QOBUZ.
I'm on it.
You're on it. Yeah. So yeah.
Do they have video and audio?
No, it's just audio.
Just the
And
audio.
it's just music. They don't do podcasts or not one of
Okay.
those, but it's strictly music. And the way they curate their music, and I like it, it's cool. So there's not like Spotify and maybe Apple too, they have this algorithm and whatever you listen to, they kind of whatever. I don't know how they do it. I think they do it a little differently. And what's really cool is that they always have like album of the week. They have a lot of albums of the week. So I think I don't know who picks them. I think they're staff albums of the week. So they have, a blues, and they have a rock and roll, classical, jazz, R&B, hip hop, the whole thing. And there's some real, it's like, it could be, established musicians and brand new musicians, people that you don't hear, people that you don't hear about. And it's a really cool platform. So yeah, check it out for listening to music.
Yeah, I will.
It's fun.
Because often the question comes up: how do you get to new music these days?
Yeah. And just having that every week, there's a new. And they also have like a digital magazine. What's happening in the music industry? So I haven't read it, but I know people that have, and it's really informative and good. So yeah, I got to explore the magazine. But
So
yeah,
now
so
you
Qobuz.
have to tell me before I leave.
Yeah,
the
Qobuz.
the
Yeah,
race
I'll
cars.
shoot it to you. Oh, the race cars. Yeah. Silver City race cars. I'll shoot you that link too. I'll put all that stuff in the description.
Yeah.
Put
Cool.
all those links in there so people can
Great.
check it out. Silver City is fun. Yeah, and I think you just walk on. It's behind. Is it the American Legion? I think it's behind. I think the property's owned by the American Legion, if I'm not mistaken. It's something like that.
Huh.
And then the Silver City rents from the American Legion, but it's a full on. You go back there. There's parking. It's next to a little pond, and then they got the whole pit stop back there. Everybody brings their trailer. Yeah, they just bought a trailer, and they're like, yeah, then we got to get a generator, and so it's when they first started, there was nothing. They had this little pop up tent.
5 years old.
Yeah, 5 years old. Yeah, and it's expensive because now he's into quarter midget. So he's not going to change his tires every race, which some of the more experienced racers do. But it's like maybe 4 or 5 times throughout the season he'll change tires and all sorts of tools. You can scrape off the old rubber, or so you get new rubber exposed. And he has all the extra parts because if you crash like in a tie rod breaks or whatever they're called, you can
Pop it in.
fix that, replace that. So they got the pit stops where you go in and they drive under a caution, and then the race goes back out and they start up again. It's and the little kids. So how they start the race is they all have to line up. So they're in their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or whatever. So they line up in twos, around. And it's watching these kids, and they get it just perfect, and they're coming around, and then just because they have to be lined up like before they do the green flag, and it happens so many times. And the younger kids, just before the green flag, like somebody like drifts in the back or goes off, so they got to like go around another lap, get them back tight again. It's these kids are learning this really cool sport, and hard work and discipline, and
I'll be Googling that tonight for
it's,
sure.
It's super fun. Yeah. So thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me,
Yeah,
David.
it was a blast.
And
Listening
it's
to everything.
been wonderful. You and I have gotten together now a few times. Very comfortable. All is good.
Yeah, it's really great. Just getting to know you a little bit more and meeting you those months ago, and
Come to Toads. You can
considering
hear
you're a good
what we
friend,
do.
so it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get to one or the other.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, I'd like to go to both actually. If I could swing it, that'd be fun. I haven't been to Toads. Last time I was at Toads, I've seen a couple shows there. I have a couple experiences at Toads. I shot shot 2 events there when I was very early in the industry. My mentor got me a job as a camera operator, and it was some sort of benefit thing they were doing. I forget what it was called. It was so long ago. It's 30 years ago or something. And I was shooting camera. I was like way in the back shooting camera of the band, and I couldn't get close enough because I didn't have the long enough lens. So I couldn't. The director's like, get a tight shot. I'm like, I can't. There's not. The lens isn't. Anyway, but then we shot this band. It was this 2 female singers, but they both sang. One played bass, one played guitar, and then there was a male drummer. I wish I remember the name. And they were kind of like this punk, sort of like this punkish band. I have the music somewhere. I'll send it to you. I got it somewhere. And the place I was working at the time, with the editor, they were his friends. So he says, hey, they're doing this concert of Toads. You want to go shoot it? I was like, I'm down. So we grabbed a couple of cameras from the company and we went to the play. And it was so much fun shooting. We were right at stage, so we were shooting up.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it was a blast. And they had these costumes on. I don't know if I think they had like devil ears. They were wearing like these devil ears or something. Okay. Yeah, but it was super fun. Yeah, it was good. They were a really great band. Yeah, I don't know what happened to them, but they were a lot of fun. Yeah, so Toads is fun. Yeah.
To your viewership, I could send you a digital ticket if anyone wants ticket to the show.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Then, we could just text it out, or I'll send it to you.
We'll figure out how we can do that. But yeah, thank you for that offer. That's amazing. I think people would take you up on that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Nice.
That's super cool.
Right on. David.
Thank you, Mark. Mark Place. Right on.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. See you, everybody.